Hello everybody, welcome to the old school Game Snob channel, and today I thought I'd do a little show and tell of my build project here in my own private little world. I might need to invite some friends over at some point. I actually don't know anybody who plays Valheim at this point, and so I'm kind of been doing it all on my own, but I've been finding it a very relaxing and enjoyable game to play. Anyway, this is what I like to call Casa Bjorn. This is my lower level. I actually ended up putting in the lower level after I initially built the entire house on stilts. I didn't have stone when I started this build project, and you might actually look at some earlier videos for how it used to look. And so what I ended up doing first is building that upper layer level on stilts. We'll take a look at that in a little while. And then what I ended up doing was carving out the underneath basement area, which has kind of become the main area now, since it's kind of more functional and more useful. I can put the blacksmith down there and the workshop and all that sort of stuff. Closer to the ground, closer to my ship, etc., etc. So it's just kind of more convenient. Anyway, I've actually dug a trench. It was going to be a moat, but there's no water. Well, there's a tiny bit of water, but I dug a trench all the way around this entire building, and the goal of that was basically to try to keep the trolls out, because they would come by every now and then and absolutely take big chunks out of the corners and the sides, and well, they would take big chunks out of my building, out of my structure, and that was kind of heartbreaking, because a lot of it was very difficult to get to stack up as high as I've got it to stack here, especially with wood only, which it initially was. And so I created this precarious balance of structure, which was just enough to allow me to put my roofing on, and then the trolls would come by and they'd knock parts of it down, and it just took me forever to try to figure out how to get the whole thing built back up again. So yeah, the roofing was actually the most challenging part of this whole build. Again, to get it up as high as it is, it became a bit easier, and I was able to actually put in this second roof right here. Well, we'll take a look at this in just a second. Right up here, this kind of higher roof area, this kind of this second half was not initially there. This was all open when this house was built entirely of wood. But then when I got the stone upgrade, I was able to create a more solid foundation for the upper level. I was able to cover the entire thing with a roof. Actually, that was still pretty challenging to, again, get the roof to be as tall and high up off the ground. It's basically, everything's about as red as it can get. And I can't go any higher. Maybe there's ways to get higher, but that's about as high as I was able to get a house. So yeah, these are just some little quick hops to some of my other areas. We're going to take a quick hop through one of these. I actually decided it'd be kind of neat to create sort of a farm area. It's not entirely complete yet, but I've got sort of a honey farm to the left. We'll take a look at that in a second. And then I thought I'd put together a bit of a brewery and a distillery and an alchemy and basically a cooking station. So I kind of got all of my boxes organized, my chests rather organized with the various types of foods for creating different recipes and that sort of thing. So this is my little cookout area, little beehive, bee farm, I guess, just to the right. I get lots and lots of honey. So I actually built a road. If any of you have seen one of my previous videos, I've kind of shown off some of my road. Here the road runs the entire length of the island. This road actually took about 10 hours to build. I listened to an entire audiobook. I listened to, what was it, one of the Aliens book version, and yeah, I got through the entire book. By the time I built this entire road, we'll just boost up our running speed here so you guys can see it a little bit sooner. You can feel free to skip around a little bit if the running is a little bit too slow paced for you. So on the right, I thought I'd try building a tree house. On the left was also initially a tree house, but then I kind of chopped down the tree. I've got a video of that actually too, chopping down my tree house in one sweep of the axe. Because I didn't really like that one. So I built another treehouse over here and see how high I could get, how high up this tree I could get. I stopped about halfway up because it was just starting to feel a little bit like a never-ending ladder, and honestly, a treehouse is not really the most practical of all structures. But, you know, I was curious, how high up could we build this tree? The tree itself actually acts as a foundation in a sort of janky Valheim physics sort of way. If you've got, yeah, you know, planks or wood or something that touch the tree, that creates an additional layer of ground level support structure, so you can kind of keep building up and up and up. I was actually able to build higher than this. I was actually able to build to the very top of one tree. But again, like I say, it was you couldn't. It was really hard to get up because there was just branches everywhere, and you couldn't really even see where you're going. So I decided to just chop it down and try to build up a different type of tree, the long, skinny pine trees, because I thought they would be a little bit less obtrusive for, you know, moving around in the treehouse. So this is actually the end of my island. The island itself is quite large, and I have quite a bit of building left to do. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to continue to try to build on the entire island. I thought it might be kind of cool to create an entire Viking island, but I am one man, and one man only has so many needs for so many houses and so many structures, so that's, I think I'm probably not going to add a whole lot more onto this island. I might try some additional build projects out in the plains or somewhere a little bit more dangerous seeming. I'm not sure what it would be like to build on the plains. I haven't tried it yet. I'm, yeah, I don't know, midway through the game. I don't know. I spend a lot of time building, and I haven't really progressed through much of the boss levels, I guess. I think I took out the, what was it? I think just the second one. Enough to get stone, enough to get the swamp key, and that's, yeah, kind of where I'm at. So we're going to take a long run here. I'll show you my entire road. Yeah, like I said, it runs the entire stretch of the island, starts at the river at the crossing, and ends at my castle, at my keep. I guess it's not quite a castle, it's more of a keep, or a lodge, or a manor. I'm not sure, it doesn't really have a castle vibe to it. But, you know, that's what I've been calling it, my keep, my castle. So yeah, like I say, quite a long road, took about 10 hours to build. For those of you who've been asking, well, won't it decay if it doesn't have a roof? Well, it only half decays. It'll get a worn beech wood sort of look to your planks. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I think maybe these trees provide shelter because this area, you know, the boards didn't decay, and I'm thinking that the trees provide a bit of shelter here and there. But yeah, kind of a neat location. Passes through the Black Forest, passes through the meadows, and just across the bridge is the plains. It took me a while to find a swamp, but then I realized actually I could sail just a little ways where my boat is docked, and I get to kind of a nice big swampy island. So I think that's where I'm actually going to build next. So here we are, arriving at my keep. I haven't been fully tested against trolls here. They seem to have a hard time with the trench that goes all the way around, but they have also kind of attacked the gates here and there. Anyway, I haven't had a ground is shaking problem in a little while, so we'll see how it holds up. I kind of tried to put spikes all around, so this whole area should be protected against monsters, but they kind of seem to spawn sometimes inside the perimeter. So it's, yeah, in theory it should be secure, but in, you know, Valheim game mechanics, maybe not so much. Maybe a little bit insecure, depending on where things end up spawning at. This is actually kind of a neat spot for me because I almost quit playing the game here. Almost quit, and I was running around through the forest wondering, what am I even doing playing this game? Is this fun? I'm not sure. I'm just kind of running around by myself. And I got to this place, probably like 20 minutes, half an hour run from my starting location, and I ran into a troll. And this is where I killed my first troll, and I built a little hut that's actually still partially upright, not really. And I thought, you know what, let's try something silly. Let's see how big of a house we can build. And so I basically leveled off the entire sort of top area of this peak area. and just started building. I said, how high can we build? Can we build a very high house on stilts? And 10, 15, 20 hours later, I found myself still building and zoning out to just kind of the relaxation that is Valheim. And I actually ended up kind of falling in love with the game at that point. Just the relaxed, sort of creative gameplay. Putting on an audiobook, chilling out, and building. But yeah, like I say, this roof structure was the most complicated and frustrating part of this build. It was so hard to get everything supported well enough that it didn't just fall over. But yeah, anyway, that's it, you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And there's the view off to the plains in the distance, just across off the water. All right.